In this week's Parashat, we read about how Avimelech takes Sarah Imenu into his palace, thinking that she was Abraham's sister. And then he realizes that she was actually his wife, and he lets her go. And the pasuk says, and to Sarah he said, behold, I have given your brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Behold, let it be for you an eye covering for all who are with you. So he's telling Sarah, look, I'm giving you so much, I'm releasing you with so much money, so much wealth, and so much honor, so that nobody should disrespect you. And please forgive me. He's trying to apologize. Avimelech is trying to apologize to Sarah, sending her off with all these riches. And we have here the Ramban, and the Ramban says that Sarah was not appeased. Then when the pasuk says ve'et kol, after everything Avimelech did, after everything Avimelech gave her, with all the riches and with all the money to appease her and to ask for her forgiveness, ve'et kol, after everything, venochachat, says the Ramban, venochachat, she argued with him, she contended with him, and she refused to be appeased. Sarah Imenu was hurt. She was traumatized. She was abducted. She was kidnapped. The horror that she went through, the fear for her life that she went through, right? She was hurt. And she was not ready to forgive. And the Torah is making a big deal out of it, and it's telling us that's okay. That's okay. The Ramban himself says that Uveshivcha diber hakatuv, that Sarah not forgiving Avimelech, not because she was mean in spirit, because it's her praise that the Torah is recounting, her purity, her virtue, that she went through something that needed time to heal. We all go through experiences. We all go through times in life where our feelings are hurt. And the Torah is telling us that those feelings are real. Take them seriously. Don't downgrade them. Don't dismiss them. Understand them. Understand where they're coming from. Understand how it's affecting you. And if you're not ready to move forward and forgive somebody for what they have done, then that's okay. For some, it might take weeks. For some, it might take months. For others, it might take years. But the feelings are real. And you need time to cope with them. You need time to deal with them. You need time to be able to learn how to handle them. A lot of times, people come to us with their different issues, and sometimes they're very major issues, depression, anxiety. And the first thing we tell them, they come to us as religious figures, friends, trying to find some consolation, some kind of help and chizuk. And we tell them, have faith, have emunah, have trust in Hashem. This could be one of the worst things you could tell them when they approach you. When people approach you when they are clinically depressed, when they have anxiety, when they're going through really tough times, the first thing you need to do is to acknowledge their pain, to validate what they're going through, to make them feel that they have somebody that they could talk to, that somebody understands them, that somebody understands their pain and cares for them. So you validate. You let them know that you understand what they're going through. You let them know that you're there for them. You make the proper connections for them to get the proper help. You guide them to the places where they need to go to get the help that they need. And only afterwards, you could give him chizuk, and you could go ahead and tell him that you need to have more emunah, have more faith, have more trust in Hashem. Because ultimately, yes, that's true. If there was enough trust and faith in Hashem, all the problems would go away. But it's a level thing. You need to be on that level. It's a process. You cannot have that trust and faith sometimes overnight. It's a process and it takes time. So people who are in agony, people who have emotional issues, that's the last thing they want to hear, because they're not there yet. They're not ready to trust in Hashem that their depression is going to go away. They're not ready to trust in Hashem that their anxiety is just going to disappear. What they need is somebody to understand them. What they need is somebody to guide them to the proper place to get help. And sometimes, as religious figures, sometimes as friends, we overlook how important that fact is. The fact that the first and foremost priority when somebody is in emotional pain is for us to acknowledge that, for us to validate their feelings, and for us to make the appropriate referrals for them to go to the right places. And then afterwards, you give all the chizuk you want. And afterwards, we could tell them about Hashem, and you could tell them about how important it is to trust Hashem and how important it is to have faith. Torah is telling us, Sarah Imenu was not ready to forgive. She went through trauma. She was abducted. She was kidnapped. She wasn't ready, because it takes time, and it's okay. The Ramban himself says that it was in her praise. The Torah is telling us this. It was praiseworthy. It's praiseworthy to acknowledge your feelings. It's praiseworthy to take time to tend to your feelings. It's praiseworthy to take time to address it and to be able to cope with it and find coping skills and handle it and to be able to overcome it. But it's not praiseworthy to suppress it. It's not praiseworthy to undermine it. It's not praiseworthy to just brush it underneath the table. This is the lesson what we learned from the Ramban on this week's Parashat. Shabbat Shalom.